Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk is a 2017 historical novel by Kathleen Rooney. The narrative is loosely inspired by the life of the American writer Margaret Fishback, known for her well-received poems and short stories from the 1920s through the 1960s. Lillian Boxfish looks up to her Aunt Sadie, an independent woman with a thriving career in New York City. Yet Lillian's mother disapproves of Sadie, seeing her unconventional lifestyle as improper. As Lillian grows older and begins her own career in advertising, she models her ad copy on the short poems Sadie once included in her letters home. By 1931, Lillian has become the highest-paid female copywriter in New York, though male colleagues at the same level earn more. Seeking parity, Lillian schedules a meeting with her boss, Chester Everett, to request a raise. Chester explains that the men have families to support while Lillian is single and therefore earns less. Another colleague, Olive, sides with Chester. Lillian believes Olive's copy is inferior but must moderate her criticism. She has a strong aversion to frivolous wordplay in ads, favoring her own elegant and lyrical style. Oh, Do Not Ask for Promises, Lillian's first poetry collection, is published in 1931, with many of its poems written during lunch breaks at work. On the day her raise is denied, Lillian visits her literary agent, who suggests a more upbeat title for the collection. Lillian rejects the advice angrily. The book becomes a major success, republished 4 times. At the agency, Chester warns her she might be overwhelming her admirers with too much writing, but Lillian dismisses the concern. The novel flashes back to the 1920s when Lillian is still struggling. She lives at the Christian Women's Hotel with 2 roommates, her best friend Helen and Ginny. The women take odd jobs for income but must tell the boarding house that the money goes to charity. Helen and Ginny each have boyfriends they enjoy seeing sexually but have no intention of marrying. Lillian and Helen secure work at a department store and eventually rent their own apartment. Helen ends her relationship with her boyfriend, who expects her to return, but she does not. The young women relish the freedom New York City provides, freedom they would not find elsewhere. By 1933, Lillian hosts a party in her stylish apartment. Olive attends, drinks, and behaves poorly. Helen and her husband Dwight are absent, having just had their first child. Olive and Lillian argue over city versus suburban life. Olive has recently moved to the suburbs, but Lillian insists she will never leave New York. Later that year, Lillian meets Max, a rug salesman, and falls in love. They marry quickly, amusing those familiar with Lillian's poetry and her doubts about true love. Lillian questions whether marrying Max was wise. In 1942, Lillian finally becomes pregnant after multiple miscarriages. She must leave her job because the agency offers no maternity leave, though Chester promises freelance work. Max enlists in World War II shortly after their son's birth, absent for 3 years. On returning, Max works for the government and is often away. Lillian loves her son but struggles with motherhood. Max encourages a move to the suburbs, but after a brief and unhappy period, they return to the city. Eventually, Lillian discovers Max is unfaithful. She attempts suicide and is committed to a sanitarium. Upon recovery, she feels embarrassed, convinced she has become everything she once despised, and does not return to advertising. Decades later, in the 1980s, Lillian is invited to a public access program alongside 2 young contemporary copywriters. The women mock Lillian's style and she leaves in embarrassment. Walking home through the city still provides her solace, though she no longer encounters familiar faces as before. In the park, a young woman named Wendy invites Lillian to a New Year's Eve party. Lillian attends but soon feels out of place, returning home to spend the evening with her cat. Despite feeling diminished by her age, Lillian remains confident that she continues to live authentically. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.